Hey Fred.
Zach, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you been, man?
Very, very good. That's quite the animal you got on the wall there. I like that. Zebra, let's go.
What have you been up to these days?
Well, I grew up here, actually. My family would bring my dad would bring the family every year from January to April, and I'd go to school here up until grade 8. So I know the valley well. And my parents still have a place here. We were visiting them over Christmas time, and we were like, we really don't want to go back home because, all the stuff that's going on. So we decided to rent a place here for January.
Nice. And is it the same house you grew up in over there? You guys still have that same place?
Yeah, my parents still have the same place. So it has like a pool, and I got 3 kids. So they did a lot of swimming and, happy days.
Did you and your parents just move pretty much here now? Or
my parents they have a place in Calgary.
Yeah.
Outside near Millerville, a farm. So they spend a lot of time there for, obviously, my dad is 78. My mom's, getting up there too. So they're a bit freaked out. They watch too much, Fox News and CNN. The coronavirus is going to get them in the night. But, they're old. They're, at risk. And so they hung out there. And then I got a place down by Elbow Park we bought last year. And
oh, nice.
We've been on the road, though. I haven't been there since August because I play polo professionally. So we were down in Argentina for 3 months. And then actually we just closed the deal to stay here for February and March in California and play the polo season here. So yeah, life's good. And at the same time, running an investment management company. So lots on the go.
How did that happen? Like you just always had a passion for investment management, or what did you do to get started?
I've always been following the capital markets, interested in who's winning, who's losing, and why. And so, in today's very digital and connected world that we live in, you can do this kind of anywhere in the world. I mean, if you're willing to get up at 6 in the morning because you're on the West Coast, the markets don't open until 6:30 in the morning, and then grind away. And before you know it, markets closed at 1 p.m. So
nice.
A little bit of a different schedule because I was 2 hours ahead in Buenos Aires, and that was like play polo and work out in the morning and then follow who's winning and who's losing in the afternoon.
Are you still working out quite a bit?
I haven't been working out that much here because I don't have the gym, right? In Argentina, I had the gym and I had a trainer with me. But saying that, like yesterday, I rode 12 horses and played tennis. So sports, we're on it. Are you a sportsman, Zach?
I am. I used to play baseball and hockey, and growing up, a lot of martial arts.
Okay. Which
Keto,
one?
Yeah, did that since 4 years old, but barely on a horse.
Okay. Well, I know you're doing big things around town. I mean, how did you get to where you are today? I mean, I see you have a lot of followers, and you're obviously very influential in and around Calgary. Tell me about that process.
I used to tweet restaurants and all these companies and what they have for deals and whatnot before Instagram had come around. And all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go on Instagram and try these little squares. What does this mean? And started learning the game, and I just love it, man. I love social media.
It's the way of the future. I mean, if you don't adapt to this now, if it's not clear to you that you got to be on it, then you're not going to come around, I don't think.
It's funny, like our parents' generation, like my dad doesn't even know how to do anything on Instagram, and he's like, what's the point? But it's important.
Well, I mean, this year, meeting with people has been kind of critical to the investment management game, for client acquisition. And since you haven't been able to do that in person, if you haven't adapted to the digital way of prospecting, then you're completely out. I mean, people are doing it, so you're losing ground if you're not doing it.
Fred, can anyone put money into your firm, or how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, we have 4 strategies that trade daily on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and we play in the liquid alternative market. So like alternative investments are traditionally been known as private equity and hedge funds. And we took all the things that we don't like about those investment vehicles, and we tried to optimize them. And we did that through an exchange traded fund structure. So because it's exchange traded, our strategies, they trade daily on the Toronto Stock Exchange. We have full transparency, one-click buy and sell, so daily liquidity, and low fees. Traditionally in private equity and hedge funds, you gave your money to a manager for anywhere from 5 to 13 years. They didn't allow you to get it back early. They didn't tell you what they were doing with it. and they charged you like 2% and then a 20% carry. So we think we have a much better value proposition for investors. And then myself, I've been managing my own family capital for the past 13 years. And I've implemented a strategy where, obviously joining Accelerate, I have the back office, middle office, and front office support, where we can go out there and, through my designation of earning the CIM, so Chartered Investment Managers designation, allows me to trade on a discretionary basis other people's capital. So my strategy is standard wealth, bottom-up value investing strategy, and it's very simple to explain to investors because it's not complicated. I just basically look for companies that have competitive moats, pay dividends, and are out of favor with the market, and hold them until the market cycle returns and you see some price and asset appreciation.
Are you seeing opportunities during
the
pandemic?
Yeah. Lots of opportunities. I mean, I was buying in February, I was buying in March, I was buying in April. And I think that's part of the strategy, is because I use leverage. I always have access to capital to deploy. And when, prices were going down for, say JP Morgan, you had Pembina Pipeline, Royal Bank. I mean, we were buying companies, great companies that were on sale during the market meltdown last year. And, this year we saw the asset prices improve. And so we exited like John Deere. I think it's a fantastic company. I love the company. It's great products, very strong brand recognition, but it's richly valued. So when those companies hit their price target, it's time to sell and recycle that capital into new opportunities.
What about airlines? What's your thoughts on that?
Don't hold American Airlines. They're going bust. I mean, they owe $19 billion. They have to refinance the next 36 months. They're not going to be able to do it without the government's help, because the credit markets are going to not be there for them at an attractive rate. That's logical. So there's going to be some sort of restructuring there. You don't have to be a genius to know that it's a difficult business at full capacity, because you have a whole bunch of sovereign nations that are protecting their own airline industry, and the capital costs to participate are very, very high, and the margins are razor thin. So when you have a pandemic and you have severe demand destruction, prospects going forward are dim.
Wow.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be owning, for example, any of the leases on those planes right now, because they might be making payments today, but as soon as some of these companies go into restructuring, that's going to be the number one thing they focus on, is saying, okay, well, you bought a plane for 300 million, you gave us 50 million, you still owe us 250 million. What are we going to do here? And there's going to be some big haircuts.
What do you think about Canadian airlines like Air Canada and WestJet? Same thing?
I think it's different. WestJet was sold for $5.5 billion last year at the worst point. Onyx took that on. They're a very powerful family. And we know that certain well-connected families in any country will get preferential access to bailouts or financing. I can't say what's going to happen, but Canada has a long history of protecting its own airline industry. So there'll probably be some short-term pain there. Long-term, I mean, we used to have Canadian Airlines. Well, that, got folded into Air Canada. And how many times Air...
You remember Canada 3000?
I don't remember that, actually.
Yeah. No, it's been around, again, like a year or two and out. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there has been like other players that have tried to enter, but, Air Canada has been restructured a few times. For the actual equity owners of these companies, I don't think it's been a very fun or smooth ride. I think for the consumer, lots of access, lots of choices. It's been great that way. I mean, I don't think anyone's super thrilled to be flying, especially today, but it gets you from A to B, and it's a lot better than driving or walking, especially in our expansive country of Canada.
Have you just been driving everywhere you go right now, or?
It's a funny question you ask, because I was in Argentina and we have a nice compound down there with, I live on the compound, Alegria. It's our Polo farm. It's got a gym, got the barns, got the Polo. And I only went through one tank of gas when I was there for like 90 days. So I didn't go anywhere. I mean, I really didn't go anywhere from September to December. being here in California, yeah, we're moving around a bit. I just think that people are changing their habits permanently. Like, we didn't return back home to Canada because we were like, okay, we could sit in our house and it's comfortable and, you know, we're together, or we can be in the sun, rent a house. It's not cheap. So luckily we got the financial capabilities to do that and try and live a more normal way of going forward. I mean, people here in California, they're polarizing on certain issues, but the sun is here no matter what. And because I'm a sportsman, I want to be outside.
Have you gone swimming quite a bit?
Yeah, we rented a nice house here. It's got a great pool. Kids are happy, and you know, it's not particularly warm here in January, but it's certainly not cold.
I mean, we're not doing too bad. We had one snowfall, a historic snowfall, but that's okay.
Yeah, my father-in-law's in the soil erosion and snowplow business.
Okay.
And he said December was just amazing, the amount of snow that came.
Yeah, it's just insane. Man, so tell me this. You're known as a king of polo in Canada.
Wow. Not that difficult, you know, to be the king of polo when, you know, our whole sporting market around polo is very, very tiny. I mean, you have maybe a handful of clubs in Canada that are active in a meaningful way. You got another handful that, you know, are weekend warrior polo players. And so, you know, very, very small pond, but I've definitely punched above my weight. I went to Argentina in 2005 and it was a little bit of, you went to Argentina because that's where they play the best polo. You know, polo is a niche sport because we have one amateur and 3 professionals to make up the composition of the team, and everyone's given a handicap. Obviously, the amateur has the lowest handicap. He's the weakest player. That's why he's hiring the other three pros. And the idea with the handicap system is so the amateur can build a team that's competitive against other pro-am teams. In Argentina, you have corporate money involved, and so you get 4 professionals on the field all at the same time, and the quality of the game is much improved.
Do you feel like you ever got connected to a horse or a few horses over time?
Yeah, there's been a couple special horses. I mean, I'm crazy for horses. I'm breeding a lot of horses every year down in Argentina. We got quite the breeding program there, and there's been a few horses, specifically stallions. I have a couple stallions that have performed well over the years, one named Milito, one named Vitico. And I think the connection with the stallions is twofold. One, they're a little bit bigger boned, a little bit more muscular. They have a little bit more attitude as well. You know, they're a little bit more, I would say, vibrant with vitality.
Is it tough to break them in or tame them? Yeah,
it is tough to tame them because they're stronger and they want to fool around. You know, they've just been, you got to imagine for 2 years of a horse's life, it doesn't do anything except eat and rest. And when it's 2 years old, its bones are strong enough where you can throw a saddle and a man on top. And from there, they start learning very basic things like stop, turn, and to be attentive to the rider. And then over a series of years, they slowly build up their tolerance to take instructions. So having a stallion that isn't particularly interested in learning, would rather, you know, obviously be breeding, it's tough to sometimes get them started.
What is something that you've learned in polo that you apply in business and in life moving forward? I mean, you're a dad of 3. You've been actually with this fund for a while, or what you've been doing in investment banking.
Yeah, I think polo has taught me life is a team game. So you're only as strong as the team. And since we started Accelerate last year, obviously we're in startup mode. So new product in a niche market, new firm, and we've had to adapt and we've had to build out our team accordingly. Obviously, COVID totally out of left field. Nobody saw that curveball coming. And what we wanted to do is obviously keep costs down, and through the digital marketing efforts that we have in place, we've been able to do that and work with people that know exactly what they're doing in that space, like experts, way beyond what we can learn quickly. Like they just have years and years of experience, tricks of the trade, certain keywords, certain linguistic phrases that grab people's attention. So I think, building the team out has been the number one thing I've probably learned from Polo, and that it doesn't happen overnight. One of the things I say around the Polo field is I'm a overnight success, 20 years in the making.
Because you started when you were 16.
Yeah, I started playing when I was 16, like traveling around. I remember the first time I got invited to go to Dallas and play, and that was a lot of fun. But I started with 5 or 6 horses and no organization, no coach, no trainer, no brand recognition. And, if you fast forward to 2021, Alegria is a well-known polo team everywhere in the world. We can debate its value, but certainly well-known.
So whose team is that?
That's my team.
Oh,
so Alegria means happiness in Spanish, and the rose-colored jerseys are our kind of trademark color.
It's iconic, isn't it? Like, that's a brand. Wow.
Totally. So I'm very proud of little boy from Calgary going all the way to the big stage in Argentina, and putting my passion for horses and sport on the biggest stage.
Did you find that the hot pink really stands out, or the rose colored?
Yeah, I mean, it's just iconic. Wherever I go, I always have some jerseys for fans, and they're like, Alegria, we know that team because of the color. I mean, if nothing else, the color is very distinctive. It's a good lesson on marketing and branding, because when it came to us, we had so many people saying like, yes, this is Alegria. And so we stuck with it.
And we've seen some other soft pink colors come out now in F1. Alex Stroll.
Yeah, and that's just an amazing coincidence. Lance. Well done. Yeah, well done to Lance. I mean, obviously a leader in the Canadian sportsman space, and one day I'd like to meet him. He looks obviously he's very, very good. And someone we can all be proud of.
Have you been to a Formula One game yet? Or a race?
Yeah, I've actually been to Montreal twice. That was a lot of fun. And then I've been to Monaco once, and that was amazing. My buddy Eddie Friedman, he rented a yacht during that race, and he invited us. He invited us casually, I would say, like in March, and we're like, yeah, that'll be fun. And then as it got closer to May, I was like, yeah, we're gonna take you up on those 2 tickets if you don't mind.
Of course, what a life experience! Just sitting on a yacht watching them go by. Oh.
It was incredible. I'd never really been into boats too much, but obviously it was catered, very well organized, and Monaco, what a place in the world.
I mean, the taxis are like Mercedes S550s, aren't they?
It's a unique place. I've been back there a few times since. I got a buddy who's a great tennis player, Mark Hadley, out of the UK, and we watched him play some of the tennis there at the Monaco Tennis Club, and beautiful. Take me there in the summer, and I won't complain.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Russians actually that live out there as well, right? Saudis and
yeah, very multinational and multicultural stop on the world tour.
Did you stop into the Monte Carlo casino?
We did. We had to poke our head in and take a look. You have to. It's like one of those places in the world that when you get that close, you better at least crack the door open.
Oh, it's beautiful. Who's your mentor in life? Who's been a mentor to you?
Well, I've had quite a few mentors. I would say mostly sportsmen, because I've dedicated the majority of my energies to that. I have, had a couple coaches that were older, like a generation older than me, that guided me into kind of a mentality of how to prepare. Like, they said, man, if you really want to get to where you want to go, you need to hire a trainer. And if you get a trainer, then, focus on that and change your mentality around it. And all of a sudden, good things started happening. Your body got stronger, your mind got calmer. And then all of a sudden, I became a little bit more polished. And I've always been coachable, but I think, with the trainer and spending time in the gym, that's an hour a day where you're dedicated to your craft, where it's just you kind of against yourself, and allows you to plan the day. So I would say some of those early mentors saying like, get your body in shape so your mind will follow. That was pretty key for me. And then on the business front, my dad's a wizard. Been in a lot of successful companies, and definitely someone to emulate.
Because your dad's dad, I mean, you've been at Calgary. How many generations now in Calgary?
We're 3 generations in Calgary, 4th generation Canadian. So yeah, we've done a lot of interesting projects in Western Canada.
Originally from where? Like
Originally from Ireland, and
Ireland.
then my mother's parents are from England.
Okay, so very on the English front.
Totally. Yeah, it's been good. I mean, I love Canada. I love being in Calgary in the summer. Obviously we don't have a perfect country, but we got a lot of good things going for us.
Is there something that you look forward to in 2021, and hopefully you can leave some of the listeners with, man?
I think 2021 is going to be a year with however you make it. I mean, if you put in the energy, you'll probably get the results that you want. Nothing's a guarantee in life today, but for me, really focused on taking Accelerate, our investment management company, to the next level. It's a risk, as an entrepreneur, when you dedicate capital and time into any project, that it can fail. So I'm excited to get past the point of no return where we know it's going to be a success. There's still a lot of work to be done there. I would say 2021 is also going to be a year where we can reconnect with old friends that we haven't seen in a while. So I'm looking forward to going back to the old way and visiting with some people that we missed last year.
Has Zoom been odd for you at times? Communicating this way?
No, I think the different platforms have been, somewhat of a challenge to get everyone all linked up at the same time, but everyone's experiencing those technical issues. And I think actually, because there's no way except forward for us, we've adapted quite well.
Did you purchase any Bitcoin?
I haven't purchased any Bitcoin yet, but I'm not a hater. I'm just not converted yet. I think it has a lot of merit. Yeah. I'm just looking for a easy way to access it.
I still don't fully understand it at times.
Well, I think there's not too many people out there who fully understand it, but anytime you have the most important country in the world and the reserve currency of the world being printed at the rate it is, it's going to throw some instability into the actual monetary value of what that paper's worth.
Did you hear there's a guy that's got $200 million in his Bitcoin wallet right now, but he can't remember his password, and he's trying to.
Yeah, I read that article in the Wall Street Journal today, and that's too bad. I hope he finds that password. That would be a tough one to walk around with every day.
Yeah, gosh. Well, I appreciate your time today, Fred.
No, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on, Zach. And
when you're back, you'll have to teach me some polo.
I would love to have you out to the Calgary Polo Club. You can count on that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. You take care.